Hello and welcome to the Respectfully podcast. I'm Nikki Pope, your host for this hairdressing conversation. My guest in the studio today is Jo Irving. She's a hairdresser and salon owner of The Loft in Reigate, a town directly south of London. In her space, she's created somewhere for people to explore wellness, to study business coaching, as well as enjoy hairdressing. It's inspired by her travels in Bali. Jo is the mother of reinvention. Your reinvention, actually. She works as an educator and a mentor. I've invited her here today to talk about what she sees in hairdressing, what she enjoys, and what direction we're all going in. Welcome, Jo.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So I've just done a little introduction.
Mm-hmm.
You are first and foremost a hairdresser, I guess, in your career.
Yeah.
I know you have grown and explored different things. And as I referenced there, education, business coaching, mentoring is very high on the agenda. We're at a party. We've had a couple of drinks. And I now would like to find out a bit more about you. How would you explain, in terms of sort of attributes or characteristics, what's your sort of signature style of working? What would you bring to?
Okay. So, bearing in mind we've had a couple of drinks, so I'm like super confident at this point.
Go on then.
So I would say that my whole thing is like, I talk about entrepreneurs like if you think about a little triangle facing this way and they're facing that way.
Yeah.
And it's like getting them to turn around and see like all of the things that
The big
are possible
vision.
for them. Yeah, like all of the things that they could be doing. So they're like stuck in this way of working. This is what I do. This is where I'm at. And it's about seeing something else. So I've been really lucky this year, actually. I've worked like in leadership. I've worked with Train the Trainer. I've kind of worked with some amazing brands, but I don't really talk about that. It's more about the person and like them finding their thing. Like that's what I do. But
So
obviously, I've had
you're
a
kind
couple
of
of drinks, so I'm not sure what I'm talking about.
That's fine. I'm hearing. It's fine. I'm paying attention, slightly glassy-eyed, although it would take a couple of drinks more to make me properly glassy-eyed. So what sort of, so you bring the vision. How do you see yourself? What sort of attributes? Are you sort of calm? Are you kind of quite, are you excitable? Do you encourage people to take risks? What's your sort of modus operandi,
So
your
as a
signature?
coach, I think it's really important to like turn it back to them. So I do coach in terms of I will sit next to you in your business. We will be on your laptop, on your computer, in your salon or in your office, and I'll be explaining to you and showing you the way. But also, I'm kind of no bullshit in terms of, and I say this all the time when I go to the gym, like they just do not put up with my crap. I'm like, oh, but that hurts. And they're like, yeah, of course it hurts. You're working out. That's kind of what I'm like as a
Okay.
coach. It's like, oh, but this is really hard. Yeah, we're building a business. It is hard. And then we get to the good bit. Like, remember who you are. I'm super nurturing. I'm annoyingly honest in terms of I work from my own experience. So I'm not going to say like life's amazing. I've done this, this, and this. It's very much I burnt out. I turned it around. Now we're going to do this. I'm going to make sure that you don't do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm very in it with them.
So your story, now I know this because we have spoken before, but just to share with people listening for the first time, your story is, or what you do now is born from experience. You've travelled that road, haven't you? You've sort of worked as a hairdresser, salon owner, realised, experienced how tough it is,
Yeah.
felt burnt out,
Yeah.
which is your description,
Yeah.
and managed to sort of turn it around. And now I think it's sort of gifting that
Yeah.
to your coachees.
Yeah, I think it's just another way of working. So I built what turned out to be one of the UK's largest hair and makeup agencies in 2006, just after my son was born, pre-Instagram, pre-social media. And yeah, I burnt out real bad. Like I ended up in hospital several times, but continued to grow because I'm super ambitious. There's loads of things that I want to achieve. I'm always kind of after this potential, the idea of potential. And when you've burnt out, it's really easy to stay small and safe because it feels a bit easier. It feels like I don't want to burn out again, but I want to show people that it's okay to work hard. It's okay to want something. So many people used to say to me, but why don't you just like take your foot off the gas a little bit? That isn't, it's not like I'm going to work really hard or I'm not. It's like, how do you build resilience? How do you create something that works for you? And the more that I spoke about it, like back in those days, I couldn't find anyone to help me. And the more that I realized there was no one that did that, the more that I lent into every modality of coaching, from kind of your energy and your well-being right through to understanding your numbers so that you can create freedom in your business.
Yeah. Brilliant. Now, the party's over. It's the next day. I realised that I did actually know you already. We weren't just meeting for the first time. Shall I tell you what I wrote down that I
Yeah.
feel are your attributes and your signature style of working?
Yes.
So here, the words that I've written down are that you are graceful, generous, relatable, and that you have, in my view, a real wisdom and a breadth of experience, and that you maintain a curiosity, which I think is really important.
Thanks, Nikki. Oh, you're sweet. How lovely. That's so nice to hear.
I just
Those
thought, well, I think, do you know what I'm really fascinated by when you ask people to describe themselves, how often, and it is something hairdressing does more than anything, is people sort of attempt to slightly diminish themselves,
Yeah, that's so true.
especially if we're sort of over the age of 25.
Yes.
I think it's like, oh, well, I only do this and I only do that. And
Yeah.
hence the phrase that we hear all the time, I'm just a hairdresser,
Yeah.
or I'm only this, or I'm just doing that. And I think it's really important to encourage us to own and be proud of the stuff we're good at
Yeah.
and the things that are good about us. But it's partly not very British, but also not very hairdresser to say,
That's so
yeah,
true.
I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
great.
we do it for other people all the time.
We do. Conversely, we do see the younger arrivals
Mhm.
actually being quite pushy. I don't know words, maybe that's a bit old fashioned to say that, but people being quite out there and quite proud of what they do. But it's a
Yeah.
generational thing. I think it's a new Gen Z
Oh, yeah,
thing.
they don't put up with any
Yeah.
crap. They're like, yeah.
Do you find in your sort of coaching, mentoring, sort of broadly educational world, do you find that more often than not, it's not that people can't do something, it's that they either felt not good enough or didn't understand or had perhaps for years been doing something without realizing why they're doing it? Is that
This is my, like, topic of choice. This literally, I get fire in my belly. So what happens is, especially, so I coach creatives across the board. I coached um, people in like the food industry. I coach PR people. I coach hairdressers. So it's not just hair people. But
yeah,
so if we go back to kind of the beginning, you're really good at something, right? So you know that you've got a skill. You know that you're really good at something. So you're like, I don't want to work for this company anymore. I'm going to set up on my own. I'm really good at this thing. I can make money from it. I'm going to build a business. And that's what they do. But they're so good at the thing that they do, they don't actually know how to build a business. And that's absolutely fine.
yeah,
But then they wonder why it's not working and they don't feel
yeah,
like they're good enough. And it's simply because they don't have that skill set.
mm,
Just like an accountant can't do an incredible blow dry or stand on stage and show somebody how to do something, or we have different skill sets. And I do think it's important for us to know these things. Like, if you are running a business and you don't know how to work, if I asked you right now, what's your profit margin, and you don't know, that's a problem.
mm,
Because I think it's really important that you know
mm,
that. But you don't have to be the one that's doing it. Like, you
yeah,
should know that, because we should never have something in our business that we don't know how to do, because it's our business and we have ultimate control. But it doesn't mean that you have to be doing it. So building something where there's other people in the business, you're either automating or delegating to other people so that you understand your business, but you get back to doing the thing that you're really good at.
yeah,
We don't have to be amazing at everything,
yeah,
but most people have built a business because they're really good at the thing that they sell. And in our case, it's usually hair.
mm,
And that's okay that you're then not good at running a business because you've never been taught that.
yeah.
Even at hair college, you just don't get taught that.
No.
It's crazy.
But you need to know that you don't know it and start to learn it, if you know what I mean. I,
Yeah.
I think that's really where we are in hairdressing. So I had on my little notes here with the question was, how are we feeling about hairdressing at the
Mm.
moment? Um, and I kind of did myself a little multiple choice. Is it that kind of like, how do you feel about hairdressing? Nah. Or, yeah, let's go. Or, whoa, what is happening? And
So I know that there's real negative chat about hairdressing at the moment because we're getting absolutely sideswiped from everywhere. But I'm personally really, from my corner of the industry, I'm really excited.
Mm,
Like, the clients that I work with are growing, pivoting, increasing profit, they're doing their thing, they're standing on
yeah.
stages, they are flying, and I am so excited for them.
But learning is is empowering. I'm very much an information is power person.
It is empowering, but also I feel like as business, if you own a business, you have to be solutions focused because it's great to know what's going on in the world. And, with all these things that we're getting billed with, but we can either sit around a table and moan about how awful that is. And it is awful, it's not ideal. Or we can start thinking about, okay, what's the solution?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say I'm not interested because I am, it matters. It matters that the VAT's doing whatever it's doing. But it's kind of pointless sitting around worrying about it. Like, okay, so how do we change that? So when I'm, working with the people that I work with, most of them have increased their profit. Well, some of them by 5,000 to 7,000 a month, not profit, turnover, sorry. And that's for very small businesses. They're investing in new teams, they're investing in new websites, they're investing in shoots and creating more space in their business. So, and they are also experiencing the same problems as everyone else. So what is that?
Yeah.
And it's purely like, okay, this is happening. How do we change it?
Yeah.
How do I move out of debt? How do I do this?
Yeah.
Because if you're still doing the same thing that you've always done, you're still going to get the same thing that you've always got.
Yeah.
And it's about making that change. And, there's a business in our local town that has just closed, but it's been going for 89 years and there's there's more than that. There's a lot of them, maybe even 30. And it's devastating. And for them, I would not want to be making that call.
No.
That is
It
horrific.
is heartbreaking. Yeah.
But then, it is heartbreaking. And I get it 100%. But then I'm like, okay, you guys are going to go again because it's such a great business. It's about pivoting. And
you have to pivot. It's like everyone crying because Woolworths closed, but actually how many of us actually went there? And yes, I know about the pick and mix selection, but apart from that, what do we really miss? And I think it's, we have to deal with it. I think it's my favourite saying is currently, you don't know what you don't know. So you need to sort of get out there and find out. And it's happened to me. So my sort of, the things that I've found really challenging, I'll put it out there in the last few months is I've had to deal with my marketplace changing massively. The people that are spending the money are changing the way they're doing it. I've had to have some really tough conversations with myself. I think there are things that I find difficult. The challenge that I found very hard in my world, I don't know if you get that, so I'm sort of in a different place in hairdressing, is ghosting. I found a lot of, but I've now come to see that people are ghosting me, by which I mean clients, erstwhile clients, would-be clients, businesses.
Yeah.
You make a pitch, then they completely ignore you.
Yeah.
I think that's paralysis on their part because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hard thing, is you have to get back to knowing what you're doing because actually not everybody else does know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I also think, so whenever I got ghosted, I would be like, they don't like me. I'd make it all about me. Like my ego was like, oh, that's not good. Now I'm like, I do it all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't messaged this person. It's just because I'm busy. And, you kind of like stuff, especially I've got Outlook. I've got 2 emails, but my Outlook one, I don't even get a notification to say that I've had a new email. So it's kind of tricky. I'm not saying that's the only reason. But this is, again, it's like leadership in terms of people don't like having tricky conversations. So they're like, oh, I'll just let that one go. We have such a small industry. You're going to see that person at an event.
Yeah.
So, even if it's to say, I'm sorry, we can't do that at that time, or is there another deal, or is there something else that we can do, or thank you for your time. But people are awkward. And they don't like having awkward conversations, so they just avoid it.
That would be my wish, actually, is for people to acknowledge, even if it's just to say, and also a little smiley face is not an acknowledgement in my book. You need to go, yeah, okay, or I'm not ready to come back to you. I say to people, why don't you just have 5 stock phrases and just use one of them?
Yeah.
Just as a way of saying, I have seen this.
Yeah.
And just be open. Just say, I'm not ready to make the decision yet. Or actually, there's other stuff going on, or I've had a better offer.
Yeah.
If you have.
I think that's so fair.
I just honestly think most of us would prefer that. It's like, a client not coming back to you. You would much prefer to know why, however awkward they felt telling you.
Yeah.
But if they were able to sort of just leave you a note on the desk and say, actually, I just didn't like the last cut, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings, or it's just too expensive.
Because it's also, where do I put my time and energy? Do I pursue that? Do I follow that up? Or are we just done?
Yeah.
And either way, it's fine. Like, I would never be offended if someone said no, but you're kind of more offended if someone doesn't reply because you just think that,
Yeah.
is there something awkward? Like, do you not
Yeah.
like me anymore? Like, what's happened?
I know, and it's very, when you're doing hairdressing, it is a personal service. So of course you're
Yes.
going to take things personally.
Yeah.
I get that. I am, as a small business owner, I'm quite inclined to give people feedback, even if they haven't asked for it. So, um, and I will do that usual, the shit sandwich that
Yeah.
this was really great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could have, I had occasion to write to a couple of venues in the past few weeks, giving them feedback saying, yeah, overall, this went really well. This could have been better, or a couple of times I really didn't appreciate that. And what you have to understand is that as a business, I was trying to achieve this. So yes,
Yeah.
you know, this worked, that worked, but that didn't. So, and I just think it's so much better to give them that feedback. Now, whether any of them will actually respond to me and say thank you so much, or I'm not even after any money back. I'm just trying to give them
Yeah.
feedback, because if they don't know, they don't know.
Yeah. I
And
love a bit of feedback.
I just think there's ways of delivering it. But I do think it's important that we do that, and that we ask for it, and that we go with it, not just berate somebody for giving you 2 stars on Google, but you
Yeah.
want, and obviously some people aren't going to be very honest,
Yeah.
but it is important to take that on board.
Yeah. And also, because if that, whatever the issue is, can get a solution, then chances are you're probably going to go back.
Yeah.
Or just feel like you're being heard. I think that's really fair. You're saying, this service could be better, and I want to come back to you.
Yeah.
Can we change this?
Yeah, you can't, not just going to open your doors and get it right the whole time.
Yeah.
Same whether it's staff leaving, customer feedback, in your community, your tribe, industry.
Yeah.
Although be careful with industry feedback, because there's quite a lot of competition going on. The whole obsession with awards and
Yes.
accolades, I think we need to steer clear of. So who's smashing it in hairdressing for you at the moment? Whether is it a brand, a person, is it a thing that's happening, or a movement? Let's talk some positivity.
Okay. So obviously, I'm going to shout out the people that I support.
Yeah.
Not obviously, actually, because they didn't have to be smashing it, but there's a couple of people that I'm supporting at the moment in CEO Darling that are absolutely like.
So hang on,
one
CEO
step.
Darling is the name of your program.
Yeah, so I run a program. It's basically taking people from like busy entrepreneur to start thinking like a CEO. So making
Okay.
better decisions, leadership skills, all that kind of stuff. But the person that I'm thinking of is called Mel Giles. So she runs 2 salons, one in Frome and one in Bath. And what she is doing at the moment is like makes me so excited. So when you first started, you were saying that I, inspired by Bali, have kind of created this space with different levels. She's exactly the same. So she has this space. She was very much passed all of her leadership, all of her creativity over to her management team, and has made a few changes, and now has taken most of that back. She's like a grower, so she grows flowers for Chelsea Flower Show.
Wow.
And various other things. But she's creating spaces within her salon. Like, she's got a coffee shop, she's got a yoga space upstairs. She's starting to do like haircuts and experiences in her growing field. Her
Wow.
leadership is just incredible. Like, she's got these incredible educators coming over from all over the world to teach in her salon, that she's then selling spaces to other hairdressers. Like, the ideas that come out of that woman are just incredible, and she always makes them happen. She like backs them up. She does the work. She's authentic. She shows up. Like, I just think she's a dream.
So why did she need you? What was the shift that has happened since you've worked together?
So obviously, I don't want to share too much because it's not.
No, without being indiscreet.
So
But what was the mindset shift or something?
It was
generally
basically leadership. So she didn't have enough time. She's very, very naturally creative, and she has a lot of ideas. But she was in the running of her business.
Right.
She was stuck with I can't not do these clients. These clients travel from all over to come and see me. I'm fully booked
Right.
all the time. I've got a staff of however, like loads.
Yeah.
Like at one point in the hundreds. And it wasn't as profitable as it should be. So
Right.
we made it more profitable. We
Yeah.
gave her time to work on her team, but also to create and fulfill ideas. Because there's nothing more frustrating than a creative person having ideas,
Yeah.
but not having the how to back it up, how to
Yeah.
make it happen. Because then you're just in this constant place of not fulfilling your potential.
Yeah.
Like, it's painful.
You
And
have,
now she's doing it, and it's great.
I think, well, for me, that's something key that's taken me a long time to learn is you've got to let go of
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
in order to make other stuff happen, to give yourself the time or the space or the headspace,
Yeah.
whatever you need. And I think throughout my entire career of in various industries and lives and reinvention moments, that's the main thing I've learned is that, you might be the best person at, I don't know, it used to be doing the photocopying and filing, but if you keep doing it, you're never going to have time to do the more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where I've found that it's a generosity and actually it's joyful, not just making yourself free to then be lifted up by
Yeah.
other people, but actually it's quite joyful to give those people the responsibility.
That is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the other thing, and I know that we've spoken about this before, but I feel like leadership within the hairdressing industry is something that gets bypassed a lot.
Mm,
So, like, someone goes into a company and they're incredible at hair and they're making loads of money for the company, and that's great. So they get put to manager, but you're taking them away from the job that they're really good at and they're
mm,
bringing the money in. The other thing that happens is business owners have the fear that someone's going to leave.
mm.
So they're not qualified, but to keep them locked in, they make them a director or a business partner or a manager
Yeah.
so that that person doesn't leave the company because they're making decisions from a place of fear, not
Yeah.
from facts.
Yeah.
I see that all the time. I spend a lot of time helping people release people,
Yeah.
not out of their job, but just so that they're making money and they're getting the decision making back because
Yeah.
they've passed it on.
Yeah.
And also, AI, as much as we kind of moan about it, there's so many things that you can automate in your business.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be you that's doing everything. There's only so many things that a leader, a CEO, a business owner should be doing.
Yeah.
And everything else should be delegated or automated.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy to do now.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. And I think that it's also, again, putting it back in my sort of slightly journalist terms as well, is you don't need to know everything as well. I think you need to know the important stuff. You need trust so that you know you'll be told the important stuff. I always say that's the most important thing
Yeah.
in any team situation for me is I want to read the headlines.
Yeah.
Think of a newspaper. The headlines is what I need to know. If I need to know anything else, I'll ask for the next bit, which is what you call the stand first. It's the bit
Yeah.
that's not as big as the headline, but
Yeah.
and then if I need more detail, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to read the whole article to me.
Yeah.
Tell me the headline if I get it.
Like trust as well.
Yeah. So I think it is trust. It's letting go. It's understanding that everyone has their part, empowering other people.
Yeah.
Um,
You do
but
not want to be the best person in your business.
no.
Like, you want to build up the other people.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's only going to grow as big as you are. Like,
Yeah.
bring in the person that's incredible at
Yeah.
marketing or cutting or,
Yeah.
social media. Like, we do not have to be everything.
For me, it's been a tough lesson in business to learn that my legacy is not going to be my products or the things that I have created.
Mm-hmm.
My legacy is going to be personal. It's going to be me, the person,
Mm-hmm.
and the people who will say, she helped me, or I learned that from her, or she gave me a career start. And I've learned to actually be really proud of that.
Yeah.
So it may be, wouldn't it be great if people would say, God, that podcast was amazing that so-and-so did 20 years ago. But actually, they're not going to remember the name of it. They're going to remember the person who hosted it.
Yeah. And how you made them.
Possibly. Or do you know what I mean? I think, and I think it's realizing that that's actually just as beautiful and worthwhile
Yeah.
as writing a book.
I mean,
or,
that is legacy building. I mean, look at
Well,
someone
that's
like Trevor Sorby.
Yeah.
It's never about him. It's about how he made people feel, who
Yeah.
he supported, who he helped grow,
Yeah.
who,
So it's not a salon or it's not a cutting method. It's not a thing.
unfortunately, it's a feeling. Or
Yeah.
fortunately, but it
Yeah.
is a feeling. And it's like, how do you bring that into your daily work? How do you bring that into what you're giving out?
Mm.
Like, how do you make people feel? Because if it's not empowered and excited and inspired, then, and you're in
Yeah.
this industry, then yeah, there definitely needs.
But isn't that what everything in hairdressing is about? It's about an emotion. So it's about, we referenced this at the beginning of the conversation. Where am I going with it? Be emotional because it is emotional, but don't put emotion into every decision, I think.
Yes.
So people will pay because they feel emotionally attached or they feel a good, nice emotional feeling
Yes.
looking at their hair or the way they make them feel. I've got a big thing now about wellness. Hairdressing and beauty is part of wellness.
Yeah.
And the client doesn't sit and look at their hair in the mirror. They don't just see their hair. They see what they feel.
Yeah.
If they like, and
100%.
they're attached to you and they feel emotional.
I think it's 30% of the reason that your client comes back to you is you. It could even be more than that. But like, if you went to Waitrose, we always talk about Waitrose. If you went to Waitrose, bought something, and the person on the desk was not very nice to you, you're still buying stuff on Waitrose. You kind of don't really
Mm.
care. But when you're in the hairdressers, like, yes, you want a nice haircut, but it's like you're spending maybe up to 3 hours with that person. I don't even spend that amount of time with my mum one to
Yeah.
one. Like, it has to be how you physically feel, and we're so much more aware of the draining feeling and like, are you a drain or a radiator? And that kind of like, how does
Yeah.
someone make you feel?
Yeah.
And it has a ripple effect because if you leave the salon feeling great, you'll be like, hi, smile at someone.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, that's nice. And, you just have nice conversations and,
Yeah.
and it's a better place. Whereas if you're like, oh my God, she's just completely sucked the marrow from my bones, like
Yeah.
it has an impact. Like
Mm.
you go on and on and on about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really important. It is about the feeling, but also protecting your own, obviously, as a hairdresser.
Yeah. I think it's like being able to separate them out, that sort of running my business, paying my bills, earning a living is the sort of the factual stuff.
Mhm.
And then being able to do it in a way that you really enjoy
Mhm.
is the good side of it. It's interesting, isn't it? People still will say my hairdresser this, my
Yeah.
barber that, but I don't say my Waitrose.
No.
I don't say my Sainsbury's or
No.
um, it's the bus was late, not my driver.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Drove
yeah.
the bus to be late. But it's hairdressing is something that's ultimately very personal.
Yeah.
You feel
It is.
ownership.
But also, I have to say this to my clients all the time, my coaching clients, your clients are not your friend.
Mm,
So, if somebody years ago you were struggling and they bought you a lasagna because they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. And they've kind of done something for you 10 years ago. That doesn't mean that you have to give them a discount every single time that you see them.
no,
Like they are not your friend and they will bump you off. And that's absolutely fine. Like when we're in that moment, it's great.
yeah,
But like you're not as close enough to them to give them a discount every time they come in
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's your business. And it's just a joy that you get to make people feel like they're your friend.
yeah,
But for you, like hold back, make them feel like they're getting 80% and give them 20 is
yeah,
my rule.
yeah. I think it's interesting, isn't it? That sort of mixing. It's like going out with the team or going out with a client or doing your friend's hair.
Mhm.
So many hairdressers, totally understandable, will do hair at home for friends.
Yeah,
But 20 years down the line,
yeah,
I've got a friend who actually left hairdressing really quite some time ago. And there's one woman who she still does hair at home for, still gets £20 for it.
yeah. It's
Just
crazy.
really can't say.
But everyone says, oh, yeah, but I get to see my friend. Yeah, but you get to see your friend anyway.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I don't even do my family's hair anymore. I'm quite like
Yeah.
strict.
I've found myself being a little bit more, I will gift people, I'm very lucky to be sent lots of amazing products to try and lots of opportunity.
Mm.
And I will re-gift them, but I'm not as likely to do it as I was at the beginning because it dumbs it down,
Yeah,
People start expecting,
that's true.
oh, don't give me that. I don't like that stuff. But if you ever get any of this, I'll have that.
Yeah,
Not telling me what they're putting their orders in. I'm like, what's all that about?
that's actually so rude.
It is. But they don't realise it.
No.
It's kind of like, you end up just being quite
Yeah, Nikki
guarded
will
up.
help me out.
Yeah.
Nikki gets stuff all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. It's been a joy to speak to you. One more question to finish with. What hairdressing needs right now is ... And I will give you a free one.
Mhm.
What hairdressing needs right now ... Joe Irving could be one of them. And let's assume that that's a given.
Okay, so I honestly think with the amount of people moving into self-employed, I think they need business skills. They need to know
Mm,
how to run a business. And also, like, businesses that are closing
mm,
need business skills. Like, so many people they're not making the profit that they should be making.
mm,
And it's frustrating to watch.
mm.
And I really, yeah. I mean, obviously it's Joe Irving. Also, it is getting in the room with people and community and
Yeah.
connection. Like, it's great seeing stuff and doing online courses, and it's great, like, listening to podcasts, but get in the room, go to a lab event, go to a show, go to stuff that's in person. Phone hairdressers and say, do you want to go out for a coffee? I want to talk. Like, hairdressers in a room are magic. And I think any events where there's a lot of hairdressers is just, you come away feeling so inspired and excited and part of something.
Yeah.
And that is what we have in our industry that so many industries don't. So
and I think you have to perhaps work a bit harder at it. If, now we do have a business model where more people are entrepreneurs or sole traders or working on their own. You're going to have to put a bit of effort into finding your tribe, if you like, and being part of something.
Yeah.
So I think, for me, what hairdressing needs right now is to show up.
Yeah.
And I would say needs to show up on levels, business level, social level, creative level. It needs to get back on its feet, stand up, move around, show up.
Change, isn't it? It's like, stop doing the
stop
thing
moaning.
that you're always doing and saying it doesn't work.
Yeah, no more moaning.
Yeah.
You can have a little moan. I have a little moan. But we just need to just go, deal with it, I think.
Yes.
And I think there's lots of positivity out there.
Yeah, same. Thank you for having me. I could talk to you all day.
Thank you very much. I could talk to you all day, but we might need some food and drink at some point.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you to my guest, Jo Irving, for joining me today in a conversation about being not just a hairdresser and a whole world of development, education and business knowledge out there to be sought and found. If you enjoyed the conversation and like what you heard, then please do look at the library of Respectfully podcasts, which you can find on Apple, Acast, Spotify and other good podcast platforms. Until next time, goodbye.